Just like some people strive to create viral tweets or memes in Western social media, you often find the same happens on Ni channel in Japan as well. In particular on the occult boards, but the more general VIP boards are no exception either. In this series we've covered numerous threads that did go viral and are still spoken about today, as well as several that tried and, more often than not, failed. Ni channel users are a whimsical lot who are just as likely to egg a person on as they are to tear them down. And how did this week's attempt at creating a mystery go? Let's take a look. On September 14th, 2015, a Ni channel user posted a thread with the title, "I found a notebook at my friend's house titled, 'Friends, and I'm scared.'" It was full of an itemized list of the names and characters of people he considers his friend, the first comment stated. Which, let's admit, would certainly be at the very least creepy to come across. Why would someone keep a notebook detailing the people they considered their friends with an itemized list of characteristics about them? Why would they then label that book "Friends" and leave it lying out for anyone to see it? What on earth was the purpose of the book? "That's scary," others agreed. "Maybe he's just forgetful," another person suggested. "I do something similar so I don't forget the details of people I'm working with." An oddly reasonable suggestion. Perhaps this friend was simply forgetful, and this creepy book was nothing more than a memo to help remember details of people important to them. In that case, it's actually kind of sweet. "I bet one's name wasn't there," someone soon replied, to which the original poster returned and commented that, in fact, yes, he didn't see his name in the book. "So then, you're not a friend then?" Ouch. And of course, the replies mocking the original poster and the notebook soon came in. "He's got a sickness where he forgets what happened the day before when he wakes up. It's like an anime. I'm crying." So then, one wasn't handpicked as a friend. Then the original poster returned with a little more information. "This guy has a lot of friends, but there were only about 20 people in there, and the contents were scary." Of course, the original poster didn't specify what was so scary about the contents, and other users in the thread prompted him to reveal the details right away. After all, if you're going to make claims of something creepy and mysterious, then you better back it up, or people are going to get bored and find another thread to play in. According to the original poster, the notebook included the person's name and some general information, followed by particular characteristics. For example, their hairstyle, the brand of their clothes, perhaps their pet phrase or something about their way of speaking, some remarks on their personality, and so forth. But readers were divided on whether this was actually something creepy or not. For some, it was just a notebook with details of friends, nothing too weird. For others, it was like a horror game. And, of course, others joked that the friend probably suffered from memory loss and was just trying to hide that fact from others. "Is this friend always smiling cheerfully but seems to be hiding some mental health problems?" one person asked. "He's a great guy," the original poster replied. "Your answer is too vague. Use a little more common sense." "What do you want me to say?" "My guess is that he was just writing down the good parts of those he considers close friends." Now, while I can't say that I personally kept a notebook with details of my friends growing up, or even now, it's certainly not the most uncommon thing in Japan either. It even has a name, Tomodachi Noto, or Friend Notebook. You may have seen a character doing something like this on a TV show or movie sometime. Usually a character who is portrayed as a little eccentric but ultimately harmless. Was that the case here? Or was something more sinister going on? The original poster, at the very least, seemed to want people to believe the latter, despite insisting that this friend really was a great guy. When I was a teenager, one of my friends kept a notebook where he observed his friends and wrote down aspects of their personality to analyze. He told us that himself, one person replied. "Ah, I think this is the same thing. Honestly, it's creepy," the original poster said, and continued to push the narrative. "Don't you think it's scary? It's fine to imitate your friend's good points, but writing them down in a notebook is just crazy." It's no different to people watching. Maybe he can't remember faces if he's writing down lots of physical characteristics. Clearly, you're the real weirdo here. But the original poster insisted. It's even creepier because he's a really popular guy with lots of friends, and he's friends with me, who has few friends. Now, again, maybe it's just me, but I also fail to see what's creepy about that. Isn't the whole point of a person being popular is that they're popular? They have lots of friends. This would presumably include being friends with people who have less friends than them. But I digress. At this point, the original poster revealed that they were in high school, so it wasn't like his friend should be forgetting people to the point where he had to write notes about them. Others disagreed and pointed out they had done the same thing in high school themselves. I could remember faces, but not names, so in high school I wrote down the names of everyone, except those I hated, one person replied. And it wasn't long until the thread continued down this direction. Most readers agreed that it was actually the original poster who was the strange one here, not the friend keeping a notebook with details of their friends. After all, it was the poster who went into his friend's drawer and pulled this book out, as he later revealed, then went through it without consent, and then posted about it on the internet to try and make his friend look like a weirdo. And he kept pointing this out over and over when people disagreed with his opinion. It's not uncommon in Ni-channel threads to see narratives take a turn like this. As I've stated before, just like other forms of social media, Ni-channel can be very hit and miss with what gets picked up and what doesn't. People try all the time to create the next big viral story, or in many cases, something that will at the very least be entertaining for a thread or two. And so, it seemed, that was what was happening here. This user wanted others to jump onto the fact that his friend kept a notebook full of details and particulars of people close to him, and that was creepy, right? Right? Except that in this case, the mood in the thread didn't lean that way. Instead, as it so often does, the users turned on the original poster instead. He didn't even post photos of said notebook, and at its heart, the story just wasn't that creepy to begin with. On the contrary, numerous people came out and revealed they had done similar things when they were young, and for very reasonable reasons. The mere act of keeping a diary with the details of friends in it wasn't in and of itself creepy. For many people, it was necessary to help them remember names, faces, and other important details. You went into another person's drawer, looked through a notebook in there without permission, and you keep saying it's scary. If you ask me, you're the weird one here. And in the end, the original poster finally relented. He agreed that he was probably just imagining things and he shouldn't have gone into his friend's property without permission. He apologized for creating a shitty thread, and then complained that he shouldn't have started one at all. I think it's really hard to analyze people, so maybe I should study psychology. If you're gonna do it, then shut up and do it. You're weird. And that, it seemed, was the end of that. The thread ended on a rather hilarious comment that pretty much summed up the entire ordeal in a rather Ni-channel way. I mean, it's just like a Pokemon field guide. Was it really a mystery? Well, no, not really, but That didn't stop the original poster from trying, at the very least. But what do you guys think about this one? Have you seen something similar on the internet before? Let me know in the comments below, and I'll see you again next time.